This call is now being recorded.
All right. Hello, Cleveland. Welcome to another edition of Call Recording On. Joining us today on our hotline, we have up-and-coming Canadian singer-songwriter Val Halla. Val is currently on the road in support of her recent independent release, No Place, on the road with the legendary Ted Nugent. Her tour stops at Cleveland House of Blues this coming Wednesday, July 28th. Hi, Val. Thanks so much for taking the time to join us today. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Oh, doing great. How's your tour with Ted going?
Things so far are going great. The shows are getting better and better. Like our band is locking it in better each night, and the crowds are responding in a great way. And we've had a couple setbacks. We had our van broken into, and lost some gear, and we've had some van troubles with repairs and all that, but we've still managed to prevail. So it's overall it's still probably the best summer of my life.
Man, having your van broke into, that's rough. And I hear this a lot. I see bands getting their entire trailers stolen and vans getting broke into. You think it'd be a little difficult to be, conspicuous about that, yet people seem to get away with it relatively easy.
Yeah, I guess where there's a will, there's a way. So, desperate people do desperate things, and our situation was they just, they knocked out one of the large back windows of the van and didn't even try and unlock it or anything. They just started grabbing what they could through the window and made off with a couple things before somebody started to chase them down. So we had a snare drum. A snare drum went flying out the guy's window because he was trying to, throw a few things out to make. There was somebody chasing him, and he was trying to make them stop chasing him. So he started to throw some drums out the window. But at least we got the snare back.
So
yeah.
You've recovered? You have your equipment back or replaced, rather? Or you struggling borrowing at different shows?
Yeah, we've been, I've been borrowing an amp from Ted, which, is cool. I get to try out a new amp and everything. And then I've got my speaker cabinet by the time we get to Prestonsburg, Kentucky, we'll have all our gear back. I'll have another speaker arrived there, and we've got some more tom drums on the way. We're doing a bit of a stripped down show right now with just a kick and snare and some cymbals and stuff, but no toms right now, and it's kind of cool actually. It gives it like a bit of edgier of a rock and roll vibe, so who knows, we might just stick with that. We'll have to see in Cleveland if we have a full kit or just a stripped down version.
Sounds like you're making the best of a bad situation, huh?
Oh yeah. It's like it's an opportunity. You get to hear a different style of what the band could be, and maybe we might just stick with it. So it's a plus.
And, for people coming out to the TED show, or maybe people not coming out to the TED show that aren't familiar with you yet, tell us a little about your sound. And don't take this the wrong way at all, and I don't know why I got this impression, but before I had heard you, I don't know if it was a picture I saw or that you were on the road with Ted, but I pictured you being kind of like an angry chick rocker. But I was listening to your songs the last couple of days, and that's not you at all. So can you describe your sound for us?
Yeah, I heard somebody once call it gruntry, sort of halfway between grunge and country, and I kind of like that because I was a big, all the music I grew up on was the 90s grunge movement, and that was all the first stuff I ever learned to play, and so that really influenced me. And then of course, your parents' music always sticks with you, and my parents had all the like Doobie Brothers and Leonard Skinner and CCR, all that kind of stuff really, really influenced me too. So, I guess it kind of meets halfway, and if that's, I don't know. I guess it's got a bit of country and a bit of rock, and it could go either way, I did an interview on a country music station this morning, and they played one of the songs, and then I went to the classic rock station a couple streets down, and they played, what they thought was a rock song. So I'm not complaining. If I could go to both genres, I'm not complaining. You know, I'll let everybody else can kind of make up where their minds where it falls. But it's a little bit of both, I guess you could say.
Yeah. I mean that's good. I mean that you can, you know, I don't know what your goals are as far as radio play and whatnot. I mean, the artists that seem to be doing the best, I mean, they're getting their singles are spanning, you know, multiple radio formats.
Yeah, and I think that the way it's set up right now is just a bit unrealistic, because if you had those bands that, you know, CCR and Doobie Brothers, Allman Brothers, Skinnerd, you know, like those bands now, if they came out, would probably be considered more country than they wouldn't be played on, you know, a modern rock station now, because that's, you know, that's just sort of like the Nickelbacks and Puddle of Muds of the world have sort of dominated that whole scene. So, I mean, that's kind of why the album ended up being called No Place, was just I was, you know, meeting all these marketing people and business people that were saying like, well, we wouldn't really know what to do with this. This doesn't really, you know, this doesn't fit here and this doesn't fit here. So I just got stubborn and said, okay, well, I'll just market it myself and I'll take it to both places and get them to play it both places. When they said that neither would play it, both are playing it. So
hey, there you go. And you know how, you know, it's, you know, the music scene has changed, especially the business aspect of it. You know, the music business just fascinates me. But you know, over the past decade, it's really changed. You know, with a major label almost being a necessity to break into the mainstream, as opposed to now, you've got you know, you have your social media networking, your MySpace, your Facebook, your, you know, everything, your Twitter accounts, and you know, if you play a live show, people can keep up with you pretty easily. Do you feel, I mean, what are your ultimate goals? I mean, do you want to score a big deal, or do you think you could be more successful on your own?
I don't know if I could be more successful, but I guess it depends on, like, on a grand scale of things. You know, like I wouldn't be opposed to taking on. I'd see it more as like a business partner, because, and I don't even know if that would be a label. You know, maybe it would be like a management company and a booking agent, and, you know, not even deal with a label. But I definitely could use some help. I know that, because I have been doing it all myself, and it's been good. And you know, it hasn't seemed to hamper me too much. I'd say up until this point with this tour with Ted, you know, Ted's just got such a big following and a big audience, and suddenly, you know, my workload has quadrupled basically, and we're playing to bigger crowds, and there's more people, you know, there's just overall it's on a grander level, and that's when you start to realize that you do need some help. You can't do everything yourself because you'll burn out. So, you know, I'm definitely looking. I won't say that I would want a huge giant deal, but maybe even like a smaller label that, you know, I could work with. It'd be cool.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk a little bit about your album, No Place, that we've mentioned here a little bit. We talked about the sound of the album. Is there a track on there that's your favorite or that you think best represents you?
Well, the first track on the album, The Bad Girl Touch, it's kind of like, you know, it was kind of like writing it's the first song that I wrote when I got to Nashville, when I moved from Canada to Nashville. And I kind of was, you know, I was going through one of those find yourself artistic kind of deals, I guess. And I had left my band in Canada. I had a 3-piece up there, and it was still called Val Halla, but the music was a lot more, it was edgier and kind of proggy, and, you know, I would say like Rush meets Heart kind of thing. It was a little more, I don't know, it was more experimental, I guess, but it was also, it was a little selfish, I thought. Like it was always, you know, writing stuff just to be weird or just to be, you know, different. And suddenly I thought, you know, the harder thing might be to be really honest and make yourself really vulnerable. And so that's sort of when I got to Nashville, I thought I'm going to take a new direction and I need to start it off right. So that's when I wrote the Bad Girl Touch to kind of, you know, stop hiding behind all these crazy lyrics and metaphors that didn't make any sense and weren't even meant to communicate something, but more just for me to hide behind. So I got to Nashville and wrote Bad Girl Touch to kind of say, okay, this is who I am, and this is, you know, I'm not going to shy away from it or be ashamed or hide it or anything. So that song's got a little, you know, that kicked it off, I think.
And tell me a little about the Nashville music scene. And that's another thing that fascinates me. I love Nashville and I love the music there. You know, I've spent a little bit of time there, and just going bar hopping. It's amazing how much live music there is on any given night,
yeah.
and how much good stuff there is. I mean, here in Cleveland, we really don't have much of a local scene, and there's not a lot of places to go see, you know, live music for that matter. And that's why I love Nashville.
Yeah, Nashville really is Music City for sure.
Yes. Is it a little competitive there, do you think, though, as opposed to the market?
It's extremely competitive. It's extremely competitive. It's ridiculously competitive, but in a really positive way, I think, because it's not that people are, it's not, you know, it's not that people are, it's not cutthroat where they're going to come after you and, you know, put some hot sauce in your water before you sing or anything like that. But it's like, it's competitive because of the amount of talent. And it really pushed me when I moved there, just because, you know, there was just so many people that were so good. And it's like, if it's a reality check, you know, like if you really want to do it, you really have to get good, because there's people that have been doing it for the last 40 years. And, you know, it's just like you really have to work. I heard a story that Garth Brooks went there for the first time and just realized how good everybody was, and apparently he left and came back 2 years later because he said he shouldn't even be in Nashville yet, and he went back home and worked another 2 years before he went back to Nashville. So
wow.
I believe it though, because it really is like that.
And,
but it's a cool place. I do enjoy living there quite a bit.
And you know, you have a lot of, you know, we talked about this at the beginning, that you have a lot of you know, country-ish sound, you know, to your music, even though you might not fit in the full-blown country label, so to speak. But would you consider, you know, jumping on a country tour or something if that opportunity came up?
Oh yeah, like, I mean, you know, for me it's just like, as long as, you know, it wasn't something that I was against or that I felt like would be, you know, in some way a negative message or something, I wouldn't discriminate about people's genres of music or anything like that. And I mean, it's you learn a lot being on tour with other artists, even if they're different. I mean, like Ted, you know, I can't do the things Ted can do, but that's why it's so incredible to be able to do our set, and then I get to watch his set every night, and every single night, you know, we've done like 20 shows so far, and I've seen Ted's show 20 times now, like, and I just can't get enough. It's, I'm learning a lot just from, you know, being able to hang around and observe a master at work.
Yeah, Ted's been at this a long time, and I'd imagine he'd be someone good to, you know, look up to and kind of see how he does things.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you hang out with Ted at all? I mean, has he given you any advice?
Yeah, he's pulled me aside a couple times. He's kind of like, you know, he's become kind of like my mentor, because we've got, you know, it's just like he'll pull me aside and he'll tell me, you know, like, I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but, and then he'll give me some advice, and I mean, it's always been really good advice, and that's why, you know, these shows just have been getting better and better for us, because we're learning as we go, and the show is really developing. So, you know, there's things that you almost need, you know, a lot of acts don't even get the chance to do this nowadays, but you kind of need to do it this way, because, you know, you kind of need somebody who's been there to show you how it's done sometimes. It has to be, like, passed on, I think. And, you know, I don't know if that even happens that much anymore, so we're pretty lucky to have Ted as, you know, our boot camp leader, rock and roll boot camp.
And we're going to let you go here in a minute, but real quick, you have a new music video I just saw on YouTube. I don't know if it was just released or if it was just posted, but tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, the video is for the song Stay, I Want to Be With You. And we filmed it out in LA just in April. And my friend Tim was the director, and he did just such an awesome job. You know, I couldn't have asked for a better first video. I really, you know, I lucked out there. And it's just the song's kind of like the, you know, forever told story of, you know, somebody that wants to be more than friends, and you get lost in the Facebook, it's complicated world, I guess. And, you know, so it's just kind of, it's a ballad just kind of about being in that limbo stage, but knowing that you would rather be more than just friends. So,
I think everyone's
yeah,
been there before.
the video just, yeah, totally. But yeah, the video's up on YouTube, and we're submitting it to CMT and GIC and a bunch of video stations up in Canada as well. So hopefully it'll make its way to televisions soon.
Yeah, it'd be great to see. And Val, we're going to wrap things up here, and you know, we're looking forward to seeing you here in Cleveland this coming Wednesday with Ted Nugent. And for those of you listening, you can check her out this Wednesday in Cleveland, and you can pick up her new album, No Place, available at most online outlets. And Val, thanks so much for taking the time. It's been a pleasure, and I look forward to seeing you on Wednesday. Yeah, thanks so much for having me. I can't wait. It's going to be my first time in Cleveland, so I'm pretty excited. Good luck. All right, well, we'll see you soon. Okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye.